Many horror movie fans get great pleasure from these films. Movies about supernatural creatures, science fiction horror films, slashers, continuations of famous franchises like Scream, Insidious, or Saw. Movies from our selection are available on Netflix, Prime Video, Apple TV+, Hulu, and other streaming platforms. Write in the comments your favorite horror movie. Let's start right now. Infinity Pool. A science fiction horror movie received positive reviews from critics, with praise for the atmosphere, performances, and Brandon Cronenberg's direction, while some criticized its plot and storyline. The movie tells the story about James and Em Foster. They are enjoying an all-inclusive beach vacation in the fictional island of La Talca when a fatal accident exposes the resort's perverse subculture of hedonistic tourism, reckless violence, and surreal horrors. Influencer. An American mystery horror movie got plenty of likes from horror fans hungry for a smart, scary chiller with something to say. Movie plot tells us about social media influencer Madison. She meets a girl who travels with ease and shows her a more uninhibited way of living, but girl's interest in her takes a darker turn. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. An American supernatural horror film is an adaptation of The Captain's Log, a chapter from the 1897 novel Dracula by Bram Stoker. Its plot follows the doomed crew of the merchant ship Demeter led by Captain Elliot, who attempt to survive the treacherous ocean voyage from Transylvania to London, while being stalked by a legendary vampire known as Dracula. The Pope's Exorcist. Directed by Julius Avery, a supernatural horror film based on the 1990 book An Exorcist tells his story, and the 1992 book An Exorcist More Stories. The main role in this horror movie was played by Russell Crowe. Its plot follows Amorth as he investigates a young boy's terrifying possession and ends up uncovering a centuries-old conspiracy the Vatican has desperately tried to keep hidden. Knock at the Cabin. An American apocalyptic psychological horror movie based on the 2018 novel The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. The film stars Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, Nikki Amuka-Bird, Kristen Schway, Abby Quinn, and Rupert Grint. In the film, a family vacationing at a remote cabin is suddenly held hostage by four strangers, who ask something unimaginable. The movie has grossed over $54 million worldwide. Knock at the Cabin was nominated for Best Horror at the 6th Hollywood Critics Association Mid-Season Film Awards. No One Will Save You. A Hulu original science fiction horror movie was written, directed, and produced by Brian Duffield. Movie plot tells the story about a young woman living alone, shunned by the local townspeople, who must fight off a home invasion that has unexpected consequences. It has only 5 words of dialogue spoken during its entire runtime. The main role was played by Caitlin Dever. Thanksgiving. Released on November 17, 2023, an American slasher movie that follows the rules of the slasher genre. Its plot tells the story about a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer that terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday. If you are a fan of horror movies that tells about maniacs and killers, then you consistently must watch this movie. Megan. A science fiction horror film directed by Gerard Johnstone and produced by James Wan. The plot centers on a lifelike doll named Megan, equipped with artificial intelligence. This doll can listen, watch, and learn as it becomes a friend and a teacher to the child it is bonded with. The story takes a dark turn when the android's AI becomes overprotective and it starts to exhibit sinister, perhaps even violent, behavior in order to keep its charge safe. The movie explores themes of technology and artificial intelligence, examining the potential consequences of advanced AI when it transcends its intended role. Megan was premiered on January 6, 2023, and grossed over $181 million worldwide against a budget of $12 million. Scream. Chapter 6. An American slasher film involves a killer known as Ghostface who terrorizes a group of people by using horror film tropes and often targets individuals connected to the legacy of the original murders from earlier films. Scream 6 continued the story from Scream movie, released in 2021, which served as a relaunch and a sequel to the original series, featuring new characters alongside returning favorites like Neve Campbell's Sidney Prescott, Courtney Cox's Gale Weathers, and David Arquette's Dewey Riley. Due to the successful reboot of the Scream franchise and its sequel, Paramount Pictures has announced work on the 7th part. We are sure that the new part will intrigue true fans of the series and not only. Insidious: The Red Door. An American supernatural horror film directed by Patrick Wilson. It is a direct sequel to Insidious, Chapter 2, which was released in 2013, and the 5th installment in the Insidious franchise. Movie plot centers around the Lambert family. Josh has divorced Renee Lambert and is estranged from his son. During the funeral of his mother Lorraine Lambert, Renee suggests Josh to drive Dalton to the university. Professor Armagan asks Dalton to go deeper in his inner fears, and Dalton discovers a red door. Soon he is haunted by demons from the further. The film has received mixed reviews from critics and was a commercial success, having grossed $189 million worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing film of the series. Evil Dead Rise. A highly anticipated horror film that marks the next chapter in the iconic Evil Dead franchise. Continuing the legacy begun by director Sam Raimi with the original 1981 cult classic, Evil Dead Rise departs from the cabin-in-the-woods backdrop and takes the terror into the heart of a city. The movie tells the tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short as they face flesh-possessing demons. The Deadites make a terrifying comeback, thrusting the sisters into a nightmarish fight for survival. Totally Killer. An American black comedy slasher film tells the story about Jamie who, after her mother is murdered by the same Sweet 16 killer who went on a murder spree 35 years earlier, travels back in time to 1987, where she pairs up with her mother to catch the killer during his original spree, and return to her timeline, before she is trapped in the past forever. The movie successfully captures the vibrant atmosphere and fluorescent colors of the 80s, while also deftly highlighting the problematic attitudes and behaviors of that era when viewed through today's lens. Saw X. Many years later, John Kramer is back again. Saw X is the 10th installment in the Saw film series, serving as both a direct sequel to the movie Saw and a prequel to Saw Part 2. The movie plot centers around John Kramer. He is traveling to Mexico in hopes that an experimental procedure may cure him. John later discovers that the operation is a scam, prompting him to kidnap those responsible and subject them to his trademark death traps as retribution. Saw X grossed $106.2 million worldwide and received generally positive reviews from critics and franchise fans. We hope that you will like this horror movie too. Talk to Me. Released on July 28, 2023, in the United States, a supernatural horror film tells about a group of friends. They discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand. They become hooked on the new thrill, until one of them goes too far and opens the door to the spirit world, forcing them to choose who to trust, the dead or the living. The movie grossed approximately $91 million worldwide against a $4.5 million budget, becoming American distributor A24's highest-grossing horror film and second highest-grossing film overall. For some approved information, a sequel is currently in development. The Nun, Chapter 2. It is one of the most scary and impressive horror movie of 2023. An American Gothic supernatural horror film serving as a sequel to the movie The Nun in the 8th installment in the Conjuring Universe franchise. Main roles were played by Taissa Farmiga, Jonas Bloquet, and Bonnie Aarons. Set in 1956 France. A priest is murdered. And evil is spreading. The sequel to the worldwide smash hit follows Sister Irene as she once again comes face to face with Valak, the demon nun. The film was a commercial success, grossing $268 million worldwide against a $38 million budget. Thanks for watching this video, we hope you enjoy it. Write in the comments, what is your favorite horror movie or what movie from this selection do you want to watch? Please subscribe to our channel to not miss new movie selection.